All right. So let me get my Windows set up here. All right, so let me first talk about what Zotero is. So if you've not used Zotero before, Zotero is a citation or reference management software. It enables you to store and organize your references, and it enables you to create bibliographies with them. There is a Zotero web, which you can use in a web browser, but today's workshop is on Zotero desktop, which is the more powerful software because that's what you need to be able to create references in Microsoft Word. And also, if you use Google Docs, you can use Zotero with Google Docs as well. So what you see on your screen right now, what I'm sharing with you is the Zotero desktop window. So let me first talk about what you're going to find in the Zotero desktop window. So Zotero desktop has 4 different areas. So there's the area in the upper left-hand corner of the page, which is where your folders show up. In the middle of the page is where the references in those folders appear. And then on the right-hand side is where the actual reference information for each individual reference shows up. So if you click on a particular folder on the left, the references in that folder show up in the middle of the page. If you click on a specific reference in the middle of the page, the citation information in that reference shows up on the right-hand side. And you can edit this and fix errors. And in fact, you'll want to do that. Okay. Finally, on the lower left-hand side of the page, in the lower left-hand corner are the tags. So a lot of references come in from databases with tags or subject headings that come from either the database or from the authors of the article. So these display in the lower left-hand corner. So these tags here are the tags for all the articles that are in my citation styles folder. So let me talk a little bit about the functionality of Zotero, okay? And keep in mind, as you have questions today, just please go ahead and either unmute yourself or use the chat box to post your question, all right? So please feel free to stop me at any point if I'm going too fast. So to get Zotero, you'll have to go to zotero.org, all right? And there'll be a download link on the Zotero page for you to download. You'll also need to create a Zotero account. So let me pull up my browser really briefly. So when you go to zotero.org, in the middle of the page, there'll be a big red download button. Up at the top, there's going to be a login button. Go to that button and create a Zotero account. So you need to have a Zotero account. It doesn't have to have anything to do with Western because Western's not paying for this. So you can use any email address to set up your Zotero account. Then once you download and install Zotero, go up to Zotero Preferences in the upper left-hand corner under the Zotero menu. Click Preferences. Click on the Sync button in Preferences, and there will be a login link here to log into your Zotero account. This links your Zotero account for your desktop to zotero.org and enables you to sync your references to zotero.org to store them in the cloud. If you also plan to incorporate or attach PDFs as attachments to your references, then you want to sync those PDFs as well, then you could check off sync full text content and sync attachment files. But you don't have to do that. You do not have to use your Zotero Cloud account for your actual PDFs. But you do want to use Zotero Cloud to sync your references. So on the left-hand side is where you're going to create folders to store your citations. All right. So to create folders, all you have to do is go up to the upper left-hand corner to the little manila folder icon and click that. This will give you an option of creating what Zotero calls a new collection. Basically, this means a folder. So you can give it a name. I always call it test folder for these workshops. All right, so go ahead right now on your Zotero account and create a folder. Click OK. The folder will then appear on the left-hand side. These folders are automatically in your library, my library. Okay, these folders are alphabetical. If you click on a folder, anything in that folder will display in the middle. Now, I don't have anything in this folder yet, so I'm going to add some things from some of my other collections. So I'm going to take an item from another item and move that into the test folder. So you can click and drag references from other folders by highlighting them and clicking and dragging into whatever folder you want them to go into. References in Zotero can be in multiple folders. So if you have a reference that is applicable to 3 or 4 different projects or topics, you can have that reference in 3 or 4 different folders. So to get something into a folder, just click and drag it. To remove it from the folder, select it, right-click, and do Remove Item from Collection. And then click OK. That just removes that one item from that collection. If you want to delete something completely from your whole library, right-click and do Move Item to Trash, and that will delete the item permanently. You can go to Trash and find things and reinstate them. So if you find something in the trash, which is all the way at the bottom underneath your folders, you can do Restore to Library. Okay? So making folders, very easy. Clicking and dragging things into folders is also very easy. Okay? Now, the next step is getting references into your library. Unlike me, where my library has probably over 1,000 things, probably more, you probably have very few things in your library right now. So there's a couple different ways of adding references to your library. One way you can do this, if you go up to the top to the green button with the plus sign, you can actually add an item manually. So usually you'll see some options here, depending on what you most commonly cite. So I've got book section, email, journal article. There's also a More category where it gives you all kinds of reference styles. Okay, so if I wanted to add a journal article manually, it's going to give me a blank record that I can then fill out with the title, author, publication name, and so on. And that item will be added to my library. Now that's kind of cumbersome. And most likely, since we do most of our searching online, you're probably going to be searching online databases and exporting articles and references from those databases and then importing those references into Zotero. So that's the next most common way of adding materials to Zotero, is searching a database, exporting references from the database, and then importing them into Zotero. So let me talk a little bit about how that works. When you use a database, you want to export the references in a format that Zotero will then recognize. So you want that format, that file, to be structured. And there are 3 very common reference formats or file types that you will need to use to be able to import references into Zotero. The top 2, RIS and BibTeX, are the 2 most common ones. So RIS is a file type with the extension .ris. It's been around for about 25 or 30 years. .bib or BibTeX has been around for about the same length of time. BibTeX is used a lot in technical fields like computer engineering and computer science and mathematics. And if you use the PubMed database, PubMed exports references in its own file type called NBib. All 3 of these work in Zotero, and you will find particularly RIS and .bib files are the most common file types you will see in other databases. Okay, so just keep in mind, I will be referring to these as we work today. So now, before we get on to searching, I want to ask the two of you what databases you would like me to demonstrate in today's session. Now, I will be starting off by demonstrating the library search, which is the library's main search box on the main library page. But if you wouldn't mind in the chat box or unmuting yourself, what databases or search engines would you like me to demonstrate for exporting references into Zotero? So think about what you most commonly use to search for scholarly literature in your field. Google Scholar, okay, got one, Google Scholar.
Oh.
EBSCO, perfect, got it. All right. Okay, and that's good to start with. Once you have practice with these three, you'll pretty much sort of understand how to use other databases as well, okay? So let me start with library search. So what I need to do right now is go ahead and open up internet browser, all right? And we're going to be going to the main university library's homepage, wmish.edu/library, and I'll just post that in the chat box. Library search is the main library search engine. You can use it to search for books that we subscribe to or have in our collection. Also journals and journal articles, conference papers, all right? And you use these little radio buttons underneath the search box to tell library search what you want to search for. So right now, either check off books and media or check off articles. And in the search box, type some keywords relating to a research area that you are interested in. So I'm just going to put something in, let's see. So I'm going to put a couple keywords in the search box. And then I'm going to click the green button to run this search. Now I selected articles. Some of the materials I'm getting are book chapters and conferences. Okay. I'm also getting a scholarly journal article from the Journal of Statistical Mechanics. Okay. Journal of Physics Research. Okay. When you search library search, I'm going to pull up my little annotate feature again here. In the upper right-hand corner of each reference, you're going to see a little green push pin. And that's what you need to click on to select that item to save it so that you can export it to Zotero. When you click that push pin, that item is going to shoot up to the top to the white push pin at the top of the page in the brown toolbar. That white push pin is something called My Favorites, and it's basically a temporary place to save references so that you can then export them. So you want to click on the little green push pin to send things to My Favorites. If you log in using the sign in button at the top to your WMISH library account using your BroncoNet ID and password, then the My Favorites is a permanent folder and you could access it and save things there permanently. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and check off some of these items. When you click that push pin, you're going to see that the item shoot up to the top and the item is going to be highlighted in yellow. And the push pin will change to a straight push pin. All right. So now I've selected a bunch of items and they show yellow. All right. Now I'm going to go to the top of the page and go to My Favorites. So go ahead and do that. Click the white push pin in the brown toolbar. And here are the items that I've just sent in here. Now, you don't have to log into your library account to use My Favorites. I almost never do because most of the time I'm just exporting stuff to Zotero and I don't really need to save them permanently here. So now these are the items that I just sent to My Favorites. So click the checkbox at the top to check all of these items off. So you want to check them all off, either manually by going through and checking them off in the checkbox individually or clicking the checkbox at the top to save them all. Now we want to export them. So next to My Favorites and next to the push pin, you're going to see 3 dots. Those are your export options. So go ahead and click those. Now remember earlier, I mentioned RIS and .bib or bibtech, right? Look at what our first 2 options are here. Export bibtech and export RIS. So these are the 2 most common things you're going to see in other databases for exporting your references. You can use either one, RIS or bibtech. Okay, so let me try exporting bibtech. All right. And then all I have to do is click download. You can do the same thing with RIS. Click RIS and click download. Okay. So I'm going to click download. And that item is going to be exported. Usually it should be sent to your downloads folder. Some people, it kind of varies. So I'm going to close this. Let me show you what my downloads folder looks like. Okay. So here's the bib file that I exported. All right. So usually when you export an RIS file or a bib file, it's going to be sent to your downloads folder, and you'll recognize it because it'll have the RIS and .bib file extension. If you were to open an RIS or bib file in a text program, you would see that it's just a text file with the reference information organized into fields. So article title, journal title, DOI, author names, keywords, abstract, and document type. Okay, so it's just a text file that is structured so that Zotero can understand it. So let's take a look here now. So now I'm going to minimize that, and I'm going to go to Zotero now. Okay, in Zotero, go up to the top, click File, and go to Import. So now we've exported that bibtech file or RIS file, whichever one you used. Now we want to import it. So go to File and go to Import. Follow the prompts. Where do you want to import from? Just click Continue. It should navigate to your Downloads folder. If it doesn't, find your Downloads folder here. And here is my bib file from Library Search. Files from Library Search will usually start with the word Primo. So it'll either say Primo bibtech export or Primo RIS export. Select that file and click Open, and then click Continue. That just tells Zotero to go grab the information from that folder and pull it into Zotero. And here it goes, and it has done it. It has created a new folder in my list of folders, and here are the references in that folder. Okay. So now all the reference information is here, and all I have to do is move this stuff into the folder that I am interested in. So I'm going to move this over into my test folder. And these are the references. Now, first thing when you import things into Zotero is go through and check and make sure that the information is correct. If things are in all capitals, okay, you want to fix that here. So you want to make sure to fix that, all right? So make sure to fix any errors and move things around if they're in the wrong spot, okay? So if author names are incorrect, fix those as well. Okay? Now, as you add things, make sure to sync things. So in the upper right-hand corner of your Zotero window, you should see this sync button, that little circle, all right? See mine's syncing, all right? That is syncing the references that I've added to Zotero.org. So it's saving them. All right? So now let's take a look at Google Scholar. So we're going to bring my browser up again. And this time, I'm going to go to scholar.google.com, and I'll post that in the chat box. Google Scholar is a very common database or search engine that people use for searching for scholarly literature. You will need to log into Google Scholar to be able to save items, to be able to export them. So Google Scholar does not allow you to export things until you've logged in. So log in with your Google account, whatever account you use, all right? I use my WMISH Google account. Once you've logged in, go ahead and do a search on a topic. Put some keywords in relating to your research area. In Google Scholar, to save items for export, you have to click in the little star underneath each reference. So here's this article titled Ergonomic Aspects of Equipment, and underneath you see a little star. Clicking that star saves that item to your library. Your library is like my favorites in library search, okay? So anything that you check off in here is saved to my library in Google Scholar, okay? And you'll usually see my library in the upper right-hand corner or underneath the hamburger menu on the left-hand side, all right? So once you've checked a few things off in my library, they will show up here. So this is like my favorites in library search. So go ahead and check off the items that you want to export. Okay. I'm going to check off these 5 items that I just sent to my library. Look for a download button. So train yourself to look for a download or a save or an export button. So at the top here in Google Scholar, there's an export button. Click that button and you're going to see BibTeX, which again, right, is one of the most common export file types that you'll find. So you can use that. You can also use RefMan. RefMan is an RIS. So they don't call it RIS, but RefMan just means reference manager. So I'm going to select RefMan this time, and I'm going to save. Although with Zotero on my Mac, it actually asks me if I want to open this file automatically with Zotero. So I could do that on my Mac. If you've got a PC, you probably won't see the same thing. I'm going to save it just to be consistent with what we've done earlier. And now I'm going to go to Zotero. Okay. And again, go up to File, Import. So you're going to do the same thing with everything that you are exporting from a database. You're going to go to File and Import to import that item. Follow the prompts. Go to your Downloads folder. The Google Scholar RIS file is called citations.ris. So I'm going to select that one and click Open. Again, Zotero is going to create a new folder with those references in it. And For some reason, Google Scholar, instead of having the folder, the RIS file called Google Scholar, it calls it citations. But this is the Google Scholar one. And these are the references that I just exported from Google Scholar. So now I'm going to select these. And I'm going to move them over to my test folder, because that's where I want them for today's session. And here they are. Okay, so that's basically, again, the same set of steps. I'm going to sync this because I want to save those. And now, one of you asked about EBSCO. Now, we have a number of different EBSCO databases at the university libraries, and they're usually, so I don't think we have a direct link just to EBSCO. So I'm going to pull up an EBSCO example to show you. So on the university library's homepage, if you go to Find Databases, underneath Library Search, okay? I believe under E, we might have EBSCO, but I think we have that. So we have the EBSCO host ebook collection, okay? So let me open that up. The EBSCO host search interface looks pretty much the same. So if I pick another EBSCO database that I know of, I'm going to pull up another one just so you see what another example of an EBSCO database looks like. Applied Science and Technology source. Okay. When you search EBSCO, see the interfaces are more or less the same. Okay. You do a search with your keywords. Okay. Click the search button. In EBSCO, the My Favorites or My Folder is just My Library. It's called Folder, and it's up at the top. So in EBSCO, you run a search. You select the items to save them using the little blue folder icon on the right next to each item. So if I check these off or click them, the references, the folder turns from blue to yellow, and it shows that there's something in it. And when I go up to the top, the folder icon is changed and shows that I have some references in it. Okay. So now I click that folder once I've saved these items. And here are the items that I've temporarily saved in my folder. I'm going to select them all. And on the right-hand side, you're going to see print, email, save as file, and export. Okay, so remember, train yourself to look for either a save option or an export option. Here, export is what we want. So I'm going to export this, and I'm going to see my export options. And they are right here. Save citations to a file format. Let me pull up my little annotation item again. Okay, so I've got direct export in RIS format, which is the one I'll use for now, but note that there's also citations in BibTeX format. So you can use either one of those, all right? Either one will work in Zotero, okay? So I'm going to leave it on RIS format and click Save. And it is going to save this RIS file to my Downloads folder. Again, all I have to do is go to Zotero, go up to File, Import. What do I want to import from? Go here, delivery.ris is the file that I'm exporting from EBSCO. I'll click Open, Continue. And again, a separate folder for that import is created. And these are the references that I just imported from EBSCO. I'm going to move those over to my test folder. And there they are. Okay. As you add things in Zotero, Okay, you can organize them and sort them in the table by year of publication, by creator name, meaning author, by the title of the article, or the title of the journal or publication. So here's the publication name. So you have multiple ways of sorting things in your EBSCO folders. If you want to delete a folder once you're done with it, like these import folders, all you have to do is right-click on them and do delete collection. Do not do delete collection in items, because then that removes all the citations that you've added to your other folders. So just do delete collection. That way it keeps your folders from getting all cluttered up. Okay. So any questions on importing and exporting? I'm going to be moving on to creating bibliographies in a second. Okay. There are a couple other different ways of adding references to Zotero. So I want to show you those really quickly. So in the menu at the top of the page next to the manual addition button, there is a little magic wand with a plus sign. This enables you to add references if you have the identifier for the article or the book. So if you have an ISBN or a DOI, which many scholarly journal articles have now, or if you've used PubMed, a PubMed ID or PMID, or Archive, which is for computer science and mathematics, if you have an identifier, so let me show you what that might look like. So if I have a DOI for an article, I can copy that DOI and use the magic wand at the top of the page. Click that and paste the DOI in the box. Zotero will then, when I hit enter, will go off and search the web and find that article using the DOI and add it to my library. And sometimes it will even add the PDF. So here's the article that I had the DOI for, and Zotero has added to the reference the actual PDF as an attachment. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate one more time. So a PubMed ID, I can copy a PubMed ID, go here to Zotero, go up to the top to the magic wand, enter that PubMed ID in, it will go off and search PubMed from my Zotero account, and we'll try to import the reference. It may not necessarily pull in the PDF, although it looks like in this case it did. Okay, so that's another way of adding references. If you have some DOIs from articles that you've collected, you can add them to Zotero that way. Now, the other way of adding materials is if you have PDFs already stored on your computer. So I have here on my computer some PDFs, all right, that I've collected. And if I want to add those to Zotero, then basically all I have to do is click a PDF and drag them over to the folder where I want that PDF to go. Zotero will then extract the reference information for that PDF and give you a reference entry and the PDF as an attachment in your Zotero library. Okay, I'll do that one more time. Click PDF, bring it over to the folder I want it to go in, and it will extract the reference information from that PDF and then also attach the PDF as a file in my Zotero account. Now you have to be careful because sometimes PDFs are not encoded well. So this may not always work. And if it doesn't, then when the PDF comes in, you will need to manually fill out the reference information to make sure that is correct. If you want to add a PDF as an attachment to any reference in Zotero, if you have the PDF, all you have to do is right-click on the reference and go to Add Attachment, and then find the file on your computer to add it to that reference as an attachment. PDFs that are attached on your computer will then show up underneath the reference. So you'll be able to see it by clicking on the little arrow to expand the reference, and the PDF will be there. When you double click on a PDF in Zotero, it will open it in the default PDF browser on your computer. So let me show you what that looks like. So here's my PDF browser, Adobe Acrobat, and this is the reference that was pulled up in my Zotero account right here. Okay. If you make changes to that PDF and you highlight things and you save it, those changes are saved to the PDF in Zotero. So when you double click and open the PDF up again, those changes will be saved to that PDF. Okay. Now the final thing before I talk about creating bibliographies is taking notes on the articles that you read. So if you open up a PDF, you can use the notes field on the right-hand side. It's connected to the reference information. There's a button that says Notes. When you click it, you can add notes. It gives you a text box where you can put in quotations. So if I want to paste a quotation from the article that I'm reading, so I can go in here, copy this, paste it in here, page 542. Okay. These references, okay, this information is then saved. Actually, I should put it here. So you can save it. Okay. You can save it and actually have a notes field. So I have a bunch of these for things that I'm reading. Okay. I have all kinds of notes and quotes for each of the items that I'm reading that I save in Zotero. When you click sync, it will save those notes to Zotero.org. Okay, now I want to talk briefly. We've got about 15 minutes left. I want to talk very briefly about creating bibliographies. So in Zotero, there are really two different ways of creating a bibliography. One is the quick and simple bibliography, and the other is the more robust bibliography that you will create with in-text citations in an article that you're writing, or a dissertation, or a master's thesis. So the quick and simple bibliography is simply copying and pasting references from Zotero into Microsoft Word or into an email, okay? And this is very easy to do. In Zotero, if you want to copy material, so I'll go to my test folder. Say I want to make a bibliography, a really quick bibliography from the materials in this folder. All I have to do is scroll down, do create bibliography from items. This is where Zotero will bring up the different citation styles that I may have loaded in Zotero, and I'll show you how to do that in 1 second. So in my Zotero, I have APA format selected as one of my options, and all I have to do is copy this bibliography in that format and go to blank document. This could be an email, this could be a Word document, it could be a Apple Pages document, and all I have to do is paste that reference, those references in my document, and they are pasted in my default citation style. Okay? That's the quick bibliography. That has nothing to do with doing in-text citations or anything like that. So if you want to use Google Docs or Microsoft Word to create bibliographies, then you want to set up the Microsoft Word plugin. All right. So if you go to Zotero and go to Preferences, usually Zotero will install the Microsoft Word plugin automatically. Okay. So when you install Zotero, usually the plugin will be installed as well. Now, under Preferences in Zotero, go to Cite, the Cite box, and this is where you can add your reference styles that you want to use, whether APA or MLA or Chicago or a particular journal. Now, I have a bunch entered here because I do lots of workshops like this. If you don't have anything in the Style Manager, click the link that says Get Additional Styles. This brings up the Zotero search engine to search through the thousands of styles that they have available. So you can search by association. You can search by a particular journal. So ACM, transactions. Okay. When you hover your cursor over a particular journal, it gives you a quick demo of what that style looks like. When you see a style you like, just click on that link, and that will install the style in your library. And then, when you're ready to use it, it will be all you have to do is select it when you create your bibliography to make it your default citation style. So I'm going to select APA because that's my default. And I'm going to close my references now. Now, let me show you what that looks like when you're using Microsoft Word to create a bibliography. Once Zotero has installed the Word plugin, there will then be a Zotero tab in Microsoft Word. So this is my Microsoft Word toolbar at the top, and this is my document. And there's now a Zotero option. And this is my Zotero toolbar. Add, edit citation, add, edit bibliography. My document preferences, which is where I tell it what citation style I want to use. And again, I'm going to select APA. All right. So now all you have to do is start writing. Wherever you want to add a reference, click in that spot to add the reference and click Add Edit Citation. That brings up the Zotero search box. You can search by author name. You can search by keyword. And it will search for it. And when you see what you want, click on it to add it. So I search by author name. All right. When I've added enough citations in that spot, I hit enter. Zotero then adds the in-text citation to my document. Okay. I'm going to go ahead here, add a couple more citations. Hit enter. References are added. I'll do this one more time. Okay. Okay. Hit enter. If you want to remove a citation from a spot, just click where the citation is and go up to the top and do Add Edit Citation again. That will bring up the search box, and then all you have to do is click to remove the citation using the back button of your browser. If you want to add a page number to a citation, select the citation again. It'll be highlighted in gray. Go back up to Add Edit Citation. Select the citation by clicking on it, and a drop-down will appear where you can add the page number that you want for that particular item. And then just click Enter, and the page number gets added to your in-text citation. Now, to add a bibliography to your paper, go down to the bottom and click at the very end of your document. And then click Add Edit Bibliography. Zotero will go through your library with the citations that you have coded into your document and add the bibliography, the citations that you have put in text citations for to the end of your document. Now at this point, I could add more references at any point. So I'm going to go here in the middle page. I'm going to do add edit citation. Hit enter. Every time you add references at this point, Zotero will usually add them automatically. If it doesn't, just click the refresh button, and that refreshes your bibliography. Okay. If you decide to change your citation style, okay, so if I decide here that I don't want to use APA, I want to use another one like MLA, I'm going to go up to the top to document preferences and just change to the style that I want to use. So I'm going to do Modern Language Association 8th style. I think there's a button that you can't see on your computer screen here. An OK button. Now it reformats my bibliography and my in-text citations to match the MLA style. Okay. So there you go. That's the beauty of having a citation management software, that you can create bibliographies and reformat them at the touch of a button. A couple last things to talk about with Zotero. Now, Zotero usually gives you 300 megabytes of storage space for free. So the basic Zotero account is free. 300 megabytes is enough for you to store all your references from now to the end of time. If you start syncing PDFs in your account, you will start to use up your Zotero memory. Zotero charges for additional storage space on Zotero.org. So if you want more than 300 megabytes, then their next option is 2 gigabytes, and that costs $20 a year. If you have an incredible amount of PDFs, then you might need to go for the 6 gigabytes for $60 a year. Unlimited storage is $120 a year. I don't know anyone who's ever gone that, who's ever had to pay. Okay. I actually just linked to internal web URLs for my PDFs, so I don't have to store them on Zotero.org. But if you decide to store your PDFs, please be aware that they do take up space. Now, I have created a tutorial for using Zotero. I can paste this into my box as well. So hold on here. So this is a step-by-step tutorial on how to use Zotero. So it basically covers everything that I told you about today with pictures and screenshots. So feel free to check that out. I will also, when the recording for this session is ready, I will send that recording to you, plus this link, plus a handout, plus some links to some other materials I have to help you learn how to use Zotero. Now, before you go, if you've got any questions, please feel free to post a question in the chat box or unmute yourself. And I have a survey that I would appreciate if you would take before session is over. So let me post the survey link in the chat box. And thank you so much for attending today. And I hope that you find Zotero very useful and that it saves you a great deal of time. So I just posted the survey link in the chat box. And I'm going to stop the recording right now. And as I said, I will send